Got my little canine, sorry. Now, I have been doing a lot of research, as I've said to a few of you via YouTube live and also via a video that I haven't posted. I actually have been doing a lot of reading and a lot of studying in preparation for this theme of hidden secrets revealing hidden secrets revealing our restoration. And I've yet to come up with a good title, but I think I said it the other day. So hidden secrets revealing I did come up with the perfect theme the other day, didn't I? Anyways, I'll write it all down. So basically, hidden secrets, what we hide from ourselves, what we bury deep inside ourselves, when that comes to light, when that comes to the forefront, when it becomes completely and utterly obvious to our consciousness. So, the deep hidden secrets that we might be consciously burying, like we know the secrets are there, but we hide them from everyone else and we don't want anyone to know about them. Or they're really so deeply hidden that we don't even know they're there at all, which is in the subconscious. And I've discussed this many a time over about what I've learnt about memories coming to, subconscious memories coming to the forefront, and the different processes of how and why that occurs. I believe God only allows us to remember and unveils what we are ready to experience when the time is right. We also have to be surrendering to God for that process to occur. So for some people, God will never allow those memories to come out because they haven't surrendered to God, so they don't have the sovereignty and the protection of God to get to work through those memories. And these poor darlings end up dying. And you talk to anyone who works in hospice, in palliative care hospice, the amount of people that as they're dying utter all their grievances and their their absolute terror of who they didn't make amends with, why they didn't clarify that, why they didn't fix that up, rah, 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 rah. Some people die in most horrendous circumstances because they kept their secrets with them to the very end. But we're not going to talk about that. What we're going to talk about is the people who are stepping in to moving out of 3D dimensional way of living, which is duality, us, them, you, me, good, bad, she, he, all the polarities. Ah! Sorry, I slipped on the grass. It's very slippery. Sorry, I didn't think that. I was walking down so gingerly, knowing that the grass was quite long. I still slipped. Anyways, I'll just show you my view of what I can see. I just have to make sure I don't disconnect my... Okay, so this is my view. This is the she oaks that I'm walking through. Look at that beautiful blue sky. Isn't that stunning? And as you know, the river's down there, very dry at the moment. It will pick up as the rains come in, but what's happening is I do come back along that way, or I swap it around. But the reason why I like doing the she oak walk is because it's cooler. And even though it's 10 a.m. and it's a relatively mild summer's day, well, late summer, early autumn day in northern, the heat's still there. But I just really find this she oak walk really relaxing because the she oaks to me feel like sisters, not mothers, but sisters. They feel like my little sisters, and this feels like a bit like a fairy glen for me, and this restores me. And I grew up with she oaks in this commune that I grew up in. But basically, the polarities, the 3D reality, which is status, trying to present something a certain way, be a certain way, polarities. It's all about polarities. Whereas 5D is all about union. 5D is all about we are all one. Like we're all part of one. So we're our own individual part, and we are our own individual people, but we're all part of one. And there is no us them, because we are all one. We're all like one. Like scientifically, we all came from stardust, right? A star exploded somewhere, and we're all got the same DNA God molecule. And anything living, like the trees, the animals, the plants, anything that's actually living has got the God molecule. It's got a really long name. Can't remember the name, but starts with D. It's a very, 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 very long name. Anyways, that's actually the molecule. It's in every single living, anything that's alive has this one particular molecule. Even a one molecule specimen only has that one molecule, and that's the DNA, that's the God source. So going back to my history of what brought me into being a Christian, it was actually the research, the scientific research. What is the chi energy? What is the essence of life? Because I've always been on a quest of what is the essence of life, what is the meaning of life. I've always had a very inquisitive brain, and I've always been searching for answers. Now, the reason I've been searching for answers is because, as many of you know, I grew up, I was born into, this Nadina vessel was born into a very extremely abusive, neglectful, very unnurturing environment. And then the little me had to survive that, and then the middle-sized me had to survive it. And then, the teenager me made lots of decisions that compounded the traumas, and just kept the cycle going of, creating pain and trauma and abuse and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then it goes on into my early adult years. And then in my mid-adult years, I'm like, come on, enough of this. I just want to move on from all this. I just want a good life. And at that point, I was really like, I just want to be like everybody else. I want to be like what everyone else is like. And then I realised, I was through doing psychology at uni. I realised, no, I'm not like everyone else, because my life has had too much trauma. I will never be like everyone else, because there's just too much trauma in there. It's shaped me. And then I went into depression over that for a long time, thinking, I don't want to be a victim of all this abuse and all this stuff that happened in the past. And then I realised, opposite, all of this trauma, all this abuse has been the biggest blessing of all. It's been the most wondrous learning of all, and it's what I said to God before I came into this world. So you can talk about reincarnation, you can talk about God's chosen ones, like God's chosen angels. There's certain people that God gives plans for, or agreements with, that obviously the soul says, yes, I'll take that on. God says, great. You can quote that. Check this out. I'll turn it around. I'll wait till they come back. There's Alvin. There's Zena. Woohoo! So, it was in my late 30s, I think, that I started to realise that actually my life, the way it's gone, is one of the biggest blessings that ever could be. And there's this lady said something the other day. I laughed. I went, that is the best saying. She goes, poor you haven't suffered enough. Or she said, pity those who haven't suffered enough. And what she's saying is, and it's in the Bible, and everyone at the same ilk as me that's 5D and up, we will all say the same thing. You cannot transcend without going through every gamut of every emotion of what it's like to be a human on the 3D level. We have to experience all of those experiences, the dense experiences, the you know, and our choices, we have free will, right? And our choice of how we deal with these experiences creates whether we actually can live our destiny, our true destiny that was predestined for us by God and ourselves, you know, an agreement as a child of God. We go, yes, I'll take that journey on. Thank you very much. When we, by free will, choose to remain pure of heart, kind, trusting, now for a really long time, I've had many people say to me, oh, you're too kind, you're too loving, you're too gullible, you're too naive, you're too childish, you're too this, you're too that, you're too blah, 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 blah. And for years and years and years and years and years, I listened to that. I believed it, and I tried to conform. I tried to be more stoic, more prim and proper, more harsh, more cut off, you know, more distance, more detached, more, oh yeah, tit for tat, you know, like, okay, prove to me I'll do this, right, all those stupid games that people on the 3D play, right? Now, for a long time, I tried to be that. Just going down a precarious little spot on the, see? I tried to be that for a long time. I tried to do everything opposite, to be loving, kind, open, trusting, childlike, magical. You know, I tried to look a certain way, be a certain way, what an adult was supposed to look like. And then in that regard, I felt my heart go hard. I felt, oh yeah, I can tell you right now, at that time in my life, I had a huge group of friends. I was doing really well with money. Well, not really well, but I could have gone really, really well with money. You know, that queen bee, witch bitch, you know, world was my oyster. Anything was possible for me. In that 3D dimension, in that egotistical sort of I versus you, and I do whatever I need to do to get to there, la 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 la. Yeah, my gosh. Actually, someone might look at my life at that point and say, wow, that was when you were succeeding. My heart went cold. I started looking at people as, what can I get from you? I'm narcissistic. I started thinking, what can I achieve from this? How can you be of benefit to me? Are you of my use? Are you worthy of my time? And also opposite to what I felt, to what I really wanted. That I tolerated that for 3 years. That way of living for 3 years. And I realised in that time frame, oh, all these acquaintances, oh, so popular. You know, success is abounding. This, and we're here, and here, and here. But I lost myself. And then I made a radical change to work out, how can I be who I really am and still fit into society? And that nearly killed me. That's what made me go suicidal. So I was playing here, playing there, doing that, trying all these different ways of being. You know, I'm 52 years old, so I've been really actively attempting to make life work since I was at least 7, but definitely since I was 15. Oh, here I am, trying this and trying that and trying all these different, you know, one day when I write my book, I'll write it all down. You can see all the different things I've tried to make life work. And it kept coming back to authenticity. It kept coming back to, you know what, I'm going to be me. I'm going to be my true self. And if someone wants to be in my life, great. Their blessing, their honour. If they choose not to be in my life, so be it. Their loss, actually. But in the beginning, obviously it was sad for me to realise that by me being trusting, kind, loving, compassionate, attentive, generous, this truly repelled people. It attracted the people that want to use and abuse me up until such a time as I put some boundaries in place. And I said, look, I want to be this way with you, but there has to be balance. When I started asking for balance, boof, all these people ran a mile basically, and they didn't do it in a nice way. They all did it in a way to try to make me look like I was the one in the wrong, or I'd done something wrong. Initially, a part of me did sometimes question, what am I doing wrong here? Why is there this pattern that keeps repeating? And then I came to realise I haven't done anything wrong. I'm doing everything right. When you're the light, when you're a light worker, when you're the light and you work with the planet and the essence of the world, and you're bigger and beyond the 3D, and you see through the veil, you see through all the games, or like I have since I was about, I think at least since I was 5, but definitely clear as day since I was in my early teens, and it got clearer and clearer and clearer into my 20s and 30s, and it got more and more and more affirmed for me that my way of being was the minority way of being and the right way of being, and that's not a judgment, that's like, it's the godly way of being, the road less travelled. Dr. Scott Peck and Marion Millings, and the information's out there. Hundreds and thousands of people have chosen the road less travelled, okay? And our lives are always filled with loneliness, abandonment, rejection, condemnation, scapegoating, what seems like obstacles. And what they actually are is trials from God to get us to step forward quicker and quicker and quicker into our true essence, getting rid of all the egotistical worldly ways. And then once we get past that, once we really accept our purity, and once we really accept that it's kindness, love, authentic connecting, authentic sharing, honesty, compassion, with discerning boundaries, boundaries within self-love, putting ourselves first, God, like it goes God, our spouse, our family, and us, but we are a vessel of God, and by respecting and honouring our body, our lifestyle, our environment, who we're around, when we honour our body, we're honouring God. As a child of God, when we honour ourselves, we're honouring God. And by honour, I mean eating well, getting enough sleep, being around good people, making sure we're away from depression, making sure we have feelings of doubt or insecurity or fear or someone's condemning us or putting us down, that we step away from that and we step into our godly way of being. And we're compassionate, kind, loving and generous with ourselves as much as everyone else around us, with discernment, so that we're always making sure the devil's not getting in, and we're making sure the devil looks like narcissism. You know how narcissism is so rife in our culture right now because the devil is rife. You'll see narcissism everywhere. Now, when people are abused and traumatized, which so many of us are, we have a choice of how we work with it and what we do. So some people choose to become really evil and mean and nasty and narcissists themselves, and they become abusers by choice. They actually go out of their way to condemn people, put people down, be judgmental, do the us and them thing, think they're better than everyone else, always out to bring others down, knock people down, cause problems, create troubles, and I've been dealing with this to the nth degree with a situation I brought into my life by marrying the man who God wishes for me to marry, embroiled me into a situation for my husband's and my very deep healing of ourselves, so we can do godly's destiny. Like, we've got to be really in that deep place of having looked at every secret, reveal every hidden, buried trauma, get to that point of pure self-love so that we can truly love each other within godly paradigms and be of service to God, and then be as a power couple. See, my husband and I are destined to be a power couple because together we have a union that through us God can work wonders. We have much to do in this world. We have so much to do in this world, which I have been aware of for a very, very long time. And my husband gets little inklings of it every now and again, but then he opens to it to a degree, but he's been too much in the 3D. Gentle. He's been too much in the 3D. He only sort of slips into 5D every now and again, and it's beautiful when he does it, and he falls back into 3D. And he jumped timelines. He jumped very fast and hard, like too fast in some ways, to come up to my level. But God, he's been given lots of chances from God to step up, and he keeps, he's made the journey harder for himself because of slipping into evil demonic ways, which is because he's part of a cohort, his DNA crew. They're all sort of, but it's not even just the DNA crew. It's ironically, it's weird. He sort of allowed a very demonic, nasty, full-blown, outblown narcissist to come into his life at a very early age, and from that brought these beings into the planet that have had a life of suffering, because my husband chose the wrong person to have children with. He didn't choose it, by the way, sorry, but he had the children with the wrong woman, but then maybe that was part of God's destiny too. So it's not even just DNA. Well, obviously it's his children, it's his siblings, but also this other person that's not even DNA connected, who seems to have the dominant control and power of the whole family. Like this person, like a spider, came in, like a really deadly spider, like a demonic force, came in. And maybe if that person hadn't come into my husband's life when he was so young, maybe my husband and his family, his siblings, would have had a different life as well. So I've come to really realise that my life of opening up, even the newest trauma of opening up and working with God's destiny and listening to God, has brought more trauma that I didn't expect to happen, but it's come in to heal more. It's brought up everything for me about abandonment and rejection and loyalty and appreciation and love and honor and commitment. Just was shocked to the core of my being that the man who I knew God was directing me to be with would treat me so evilly, so cruelly. And I've come to realise it's because the light, when he and I together, we create a light, we create a third entity, we create an energy, God's energy. Like when we're together, the God energy comes in, and through that we can step up and be of service. And this is a threat to everyone who's in the dark. So anyone who's in the dark is so threatened by people in the light. They're completely threatened. And if you get two people in the light coming together, then you've got this luminous beacon. You become a luminous beacon. And that's actually why God loves the power of three. It's us, this little person, the other person, and the entity of God. The energy of God can come through those two people and then become the power of three. So through that divine Trinity, we do so much. And you always see this. You'll see people doing amazing stuff in the world, like amazing husband-wife duos, or amazing sister-sister, brother-brother, sister-brother, mother-child, father-son, friend, two good friends. But you'll notice that these people have this connection, like this soulmate connection, twin flame soulmate connection. So these twin flame soulmate connections don't always have to be romantic. They're not always husband-wife. They are just two souls that come together that in union, actually God's divine Trinity can shine through. Those two people bring each other up to their highest being via the process of secrets being revealed, you see. Via the process of going deep into the very there, they get activated. When these soulmates meet, when these twin flames meet, they get activated. And on a medical term, now this is a bit disgusting. Look what I'm about to walk through. It's okay. It's not too bad. But basically, the medical world labels this as trauma bonding or narcissistic empath dynamic, blah, blah, blah. Now, I've been doing a lot of research, okay? I've been doing a lot of research since early December this year and even before, because I had to really understand, why was my life going the way it was? Why did it look a certain way? Why was I attracting certain people into my life? Why were certain things continuing to occur? In fact, why was it getting worse? Why was what looked like abuse very horrifying, horrifying 3D experience? Why? I just want to show you this stunning view here. I think it's stunning. See the power of the water when it runs down here. Wow. So much water. Just remember, guys, lovely ones, 369 tribe, the water goes up to the top of those, almost to the top of those trees. So the water is so high, it's like a torrent. It goes over those banks. It's quite amazing. And then, isn't it powerful? I love it. You can see the flow of it all. Really beautiful. So what I'm trying to say is that I've been doing a lot of research for a long time for myself to work out my life. Like when I was a teenager, 20 and 30, I was always trying to work out my life. And it wasn't just because of my childhood, it was because of the things I was creating and attracting as a teenager. I'm wondering if that wind's impacting the phone. This is why doing, this is why if I do walkabouts, I've come to realise that what feels like a nice breeze to me is actually makes a loud sound on the phone. I'm just wondering if we should keep walking. Oh, little darling, she just ran to my leg. Not hard. Because I was blinded by the sun, I couldn't see that she was going to actually. I thought she was going to stop before she got my leg. It didn't actually hurt. I was just surprised. It's getting a bit hot now. I think we might turn around. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that in my journey of learning about myself, I the wind's gone. Hang on, I'm going to put my hat back on. In my journey of learning about myself, so, 21, realising just how horrifying the incest abuse was. It wasn't just incest, it was ritual, ritualised, satanical ritualised situations, and it wasn't just incest. I was used as a child prostitute for my father's drug habits, addiction, and not just me, but my mom as well. And I don't think my brother, I think he was idolised in a very horrible way, because my poor darling brother, committed suicide when he was 26. So he was way more tortured than me. And I have learnt that females handle emotional pain a lot more well, bad grammar, a lot more well. Feminine estrogen people with their fast wired sort of brains, the neurons, we've got like a super highway brain. We've got so many neurons and synapses and pathways happening that we can deal with many, many different thoughts and experiences and categorizing, the blah, 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 the facts and this and that. Right? Whereas testosterone brains, it's like a country back road. It's focused on one at a time, and if things are too much, by the way, all this brain plasticity can be completely changed just by doing crossword puzzles, working the brain like you would work a muscle. So you work a muscle to keep it strong. You have to work the brain to keep it strong, and you build up new neuron pathways. So that's just a simplicity basis of people with brain damage can actually re-heal their brain. Testosterone brains can create new pathways and get super through really super emotionally intelligent, like estrogen brain people generally are. And in saying that, when you get older, it's very important to keep that brain active. And with people with dementia and blah, 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 you just got to keep working that brain. Neuroplasticity. Really, it's just all about working that brain. So that's that wind again. So it's not a wind, it's a breeze. To me it feels beautiful, but to the phone it's a breeze. I'm going to sit down for a minute because I'll show you what I'm walking through right now. So it's a bit undulating. I'm on the other side of the river. Like before I was over there, I walked up there. Now we've come back. And now I'm going to find a spot near a pond, out of the wind, out of the breeze, this beautiful breeze, but to the phone it's a wind. And dogs can have a swim even though she's already jumped in. And then I'll do this, finish off this YouTube live with sitting still. So yeah, so my brother died, the childhood abuse. So I did heaps and heaps of healing on myself since I was about 15 and up. The first lot of healing was because I just knew that I had an abusive childhood, even though I didn't have the memories, just the neglect was enough. But the healing goes on and on and on. But I have really intensified what I've been learning and solidifying all these different, for example, for a long time, this is a bit spiky. For a long time I'm a bit stuck, sorry. Ow, I'm walking over rocks and sharp twigs. For a lot, see, I don't know if you can see. Right, now we're back down to the river and not spiky twigs and not such hot ground. There's still water in here, it's amazing. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's, I don't know what you guys can see, sorry, because I can't see anything at the moment, so I got my sunnies on. I mean, I can't see what the phone can see, is what I'm trying to say, sorry, the camera. Yeah, so I wasn't a Christian. I was very religious, but I wasn't a Christian. And as I've shared in a few videos before, it was a really easy step for me to become a Christian because I used to pray to the universal source of all, pray to the sky, the trees and the earth was my mother. I've always been beyond the 3D. The 3D world never was safe for me, okay? The only thing that was safe for me was the sky and trees and that just put me into a place of being a more spiritual being, but also I realised it's put me in a place of being a more pure being because I was freed from, like, growing up without television and all that brainwashing of TV and magazines, and I didn't have any of that brainwashing that so many people get. We've got to look a certain way, be a certain way. I didn't have that brainwashing. What a blessing. Highly neglected, yet free to just be myself in a really simple way. I just sort of realised, like, there's so many elements of my upbringing, like growing up in the bush, without electricity and running water. You get straight back to the roots of it all. You get to the bare basics of what life is. Water. Oh, that's disgusting. Get out there. Look at that. Look how algified that is. Yuck. Okay, there's a nice bit of water down here. Come on, get out there. It's too yucky. Let's go to some nice water. Nice water. Come on. Well, that was a bit hard. Well, we just went and tried a new way. That's what I love about these river walks. Some parts of the river walks are the same. I'm getting to know the pathways quite well. And then other times, well, that's deep in there. That's really deep in there, hey. That's awesome. Not swimmable, but deep. That will hold water all winter, summer, every summer. This is my second summer up here in Northam, and this is the first summer of me knowing about the Burloin pools, the river. So it's really nice to see how much water stays through the heat. He's being a little hippopotamus. Watch this. He's not a hippopotamus, he's not in the water, but he's doing the stalk thing. Whoa! Oh, Ziva's getting tired. She's getting tired. This does happen. She's still little. And you know, it's really funny, right? Because she was actually having a sleep, and I had to wake her up for this walk. She was happily having a nice little rest on the couch. Alvin was like, please, because gentle. I had appointments. I had commitments yesterday, and I had another really bad vertigo attack, and it was awful. And it's really interesting because one of the ladies, I do op shop volunteer on Fridays, and one of the ladies who was there says, are you being psychically attacked? And I looked at her and said, can you elaborate on why you said that? And she goes, well, I'm just feeling that you're under psychic attack. Gentle, Alvin! Good Lord, he just rolled her. She got pummeled. Enough. And she's panting, she needs a rest. There's some water up here, come on. Yeah, it was good that I turned around when I did. He could have gone another hour, she can't. I just want to say that when she said that to me, I said, well, yeah, I'm under very psychic attack, but they can't touch me. God's got my back. I'm completely protected by God in every way. But because she broached that conversation with me, I said to her, yeah, I am. Like, my husband's ex-wife, but she doesn't even deserve the title ex-wife because he never loved her, didn't choose to marry her, was tricked into, he felt like he had to marry her because, she basically, did something that made him feel obligated. And he was a fool for doing that. He was not obligated, but he used to have really low self-esteem. He still does. She, for some reason or other, sought him out, brought him in, thought, yeehaw, woohoo, this one I can control. Then went, oh, he's too useless. Go away, leave. No, I'm going to make your life a misery. You will not be able to have anything to do with these beautiful ones that you're part of bringing into the world, unless it's under my terms, blah, blah, that sort of crap. And then keeps reining them in. I need money. So-and-so stole money, but they didn't. Lying to get money. Oh, awful. I've been watching this for years as a friend going, whoa, this is hardcore. And the stuff that this person did to these beautiful beings that are connected to my husband, it's criminal. And I've just been praying for them, praying for my husband to step up, to actually do the right thing by these beautiful beings, his children, his adult children, like stepping up to really be their papa bear. Been begging him, wanting to really help out these children, these adults, but it's all been part of the journey. And then, the siblings, the sister and the brother of my husband, the sister and the brother and the egg donor of my husband's children, they are malicious, evil people. They are so in the dark. They are scared of my husband's light and magic and beauty. They've been trying to squash it in him forever. He's the magical one, the musical one, the brilliant one, the beautiful one. He's got such a beautiful heart, and they've always tried to tell him he's a loser and stupid and this and that, and you can't do it, and try to keep him small, man, because they did not want him to excel. They didn't want him to do well. Good Lord, no. Good Lord, no. So you can imagine what happened when he's in my friendship. You know, and I know, now I've come to realise why. All those years he was playing push-pull, you know, with me. You know, all those years he wouldn't commit. We lost so many years. We lost so many years of what could have been an amazing relationship because he wouldn't commit. And I used to think it was just because of his mother. He was like, oh no, my mother doesn't approve of you. I said, it's got nothing about me, mate. It's not me. And then it's like, and then it continued on with the siblings. Oh, my siblings don't approve of you. And it's like, but do you? Do you approve of me? What sort of life do you want? What do you want to create, mate? But he couldn't do it. He couldn't honour his own needs and dreams and desires and abilities, and because he was too used to a certain way of living, and he wanted to move up into that 5D way of living, and he tried and he moved into it sometimes, and my gosh, that was beautiful. And I, as a pure heart person, you know, fell in love with his potential, married the potential, married what I knew he could be, what we could be. I could see everything that was possible. He was excited about everything that was possible, but he wasn't ready, you see. He jumped in and went, oh, this is too uncomfortable, and I've had to sacrifice my whole family because they disowned him because of marrying me. They basically shut him out. You can't be part of our family gatherings anymore. We're isolating you from our family because of who you chose to marry. But it wasn't who he chose to marry, it was the life he chose to move into. They were shunning him because they couldn't bear him being magical and bright and light and amazing and brave and stepping up. Now this is bloody snake country. What do I do? What do I do? I see I'm barefoot. What do I do? What's the safest way out of this spot? You have to be very mindful of snakes. When there's water, there was coolness around there, you see. There was some coolness in that grass. So I'll just show you my walkway until I see these little bloody she oak seeds. Oh, they're spiky little buggers. Now, even this bit here is too risque. Just for any of you who choose to walk barefoot, this is what you got to be you have to be careful of spiders as well. Whew, now it's safe again. See, that was not safe. That's what you call snake country. All right, now, so yeah, I've come to realise that God has 100% brought my beautiful husband and I together for him to step up into what we're destined to be. But also, I have now come to realise I really thought just us being married would be enough, that commitment from him would be enough and it would soar. But no, he needs to do a lot more healing than that. And so did I, because I was not honouring my position as wife. I didn't want to come across as manipulator or pushing my will on him. I want him to do everything from his own volition, right? But he wouldn't create for his family to honour me and him and us. He wouldn't do it. So they all acted like I didn't exist. You know, they actually lived life as if I didn't exist, even though I was his wife. And this is a disgusting way to treat someone. And he kept going, let it go. They mean nothing to me. It doesn't matter. But it was wrong. It was wrong in every way. It was evil, ungodly, and I knew that it was cutting him hard that they were treating him so poorly and badly because of his choices to live high and big. You know, when I'd say things like, we can invite them up to our house, we'll have a dinner party, invite them up, he goes, well, they wouldn't come, and we know why that is, don't we? Like I said, are you trying to blame me for that? You're trying to blame me for the fact that your sister won't come up to visit your house. You know, she's that caught up about me being alive, she could come and visit you alone and I could be down having some fun with my friends. She can still see your home, but she never cared about his home even at Dianella, which was right near her house in Guelph, or whatever it was, Guilin or something like Green, like Vanilla Valley. So basically the issue is that was not being dealt with, and I allowed it, and I was not stepping up in my self-love. I really wasn't. I went down to 3D. I jumped down. And that's also when I became very suicidal, because I went from my uplifted 5D way of being, my, we're all one, kind, loving, generous, pure of heart, creative, life's a blessing, working to make life amazing. I went from that to boof, dark, depressed, overwhelmed, gone mad, gone crazy. I just couldn't work out what was going on. I couldn't breathe. I was suffocating from the despair and the depression of the insanity of the nastiness of everything that was happening. I couldn't work out why there was all this nastiness and just disdain, and where's the connection? Like, I was like, what happened to what I know was our marriage was supposed to be, our union, what we've actually experienced. We know this is our reality because we've experienced it over and over again. Why is he not stepping into that space? Why has he gone to fear? Why is he withdrawing? And I'm like, what can I? And I was doing everything I could in the beginning. Got so many witnesses saying you just killed yourself trying to please him, make it good, make it okay. But I took the full burden, you see. And when someone takes the full burden, balance goes out. Balance goes out. You're not being pure of heart anymore. You've gone to fear mode. Because if we are in trust mode, we would trust that the other would step up. We would trust that we can say what we need to say and it's not going to come across as manipulation. If we know we come from a place of love and we say this and this and this and this and this needs to be healed, we need to do this, we need to do this. The stance of wife is something I've learned. It's a very powerful stance. In God's eyes, the delegated authority of wife is like paramount. God desires for us to be married. God loves when a wife can pray over her husband as Ezra to help her husband be the leader in the community, in his family and in the community. So the delegated authority of wife is a very powerful godly position, which I now know of, but I didn't before, you see. And also wasn't stepping up for my needs and rights because I was like, I can't come across as being bossy or manipulative, or because that's all he's ever known, and I want him to work it out for himself. But he was out of his depth. He didn't know what to do. He'd gone from 3D to 5D, and he loved being 5D, but it was so scary, he didn't know it. And he had the familiarity of 3D pulling him back. And he had all of his own demons to work out, all of his own abandonment issues, and he wasn't doing any healing on it, and I wasn't helping him do his healing on it, and blah, 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 blah. You all know this story. It's a big story. Universal. This is a very common dynamic. And this is why I had to experience it. Because my husband and I, as a power couple, we in godly divinity will be actually doing, twin flame, soulmate, relationship, trauma bonding, like godly trauma bond healing, missionary work via music, via the written word, via testimony. So this has become very clear to me. And it's in divine's timing, you see. It's divine's timing. And I may or may not have pushed. We may have got married earlier than we should have. Or I tried to do too much too soon. So I was under too much duress with my body. Renovating the Dianella property down in Perth, pretty much single-handedly. My husband helped a lot with organising of foods and this and that and decorations, and we were very involved. It was a collective joint. We organised the wedding together, but I was the main one to make it all happen, and he was along to be part of joint decisions. We made joint decisions on everything. So he was completely involved in the wedding, but I had the major responsibility of it, and I was like, ugh. was too much. It was huge. I just wanted a simple wedding. He wanted something a bit more glamorous. It was just huge. It was a really big... And then single-handedly packing our house, moving to, Northern. And that's when I was like, what is going on? Why won't you pack? Why can't you step up? Why can't you help out? And then I had to organise my government Homes West rental property that I'd lived in for 8 years, and I'd renovate it beautifully, and I had to take it back to neutral, and that took me a month. And during that time I was really sick, like really sick. I was so sick, and I was getting trespass notices. My time was done, my lease was over, and I wasn't allowed to be on site, but I had to still keep working. I was working all night, sleeping for 2 hours, and I was sick while doing that. That was exhausting. Then I come home to try to rest, and the house is like nothing's unpacked. The house isn't a home. I had just had 2 beautiful homes that I'd renovated and were great. This new life, I was just so exhausted. We should have gone on a holiday. I know exactly what we should have done. We should have gone on a holiday. But I kept saying, no, let's save the money for our honeymoon and spend it on the bathroom. Because all I needed is a bath to heal my muscles. No, I needed more than a bath. I needed mental time out. So that's where I went really wrong. Like really wrong. And around this time our camper van broke down. It was like the devil really stepped up, and God allowed these trials and tribulations, I know, because we had to be broken. I had to be broken. I had to get completely broken to surrender to God completely, and to get back to that place of purity. Or not even back to it, but to really step into that place of purity that I used to have as my mainstay, but I would fall out of, and I had to make that place of purity my default. It had to become my default. So in all situations, go to God straight away. First, God, give me perfect words, or God, protect me. So first, I'm here, anything happens, boom, straight to God. Straight, pure of heart, armour of God. So that is what I had to really embody, and that is what's transcended me from 3D to 5D completely and beyond. I would say I'm beyond, because I feel life has lost a sense of time for me. So timeline wise, I'm not worried about the day. Oh, I'm supposed to get this and this, all that pressure. I've got to get this and this and this done. I've got to procure this. I've got to make sure this occurs. This is this and this. Sorry, that my to-do list was so huge, like more than most people would take on. And then I would think that I was failing because I wasn't even getting 3 of them done. But some of those things I was doing every day, some people wouldn't even do in a lifetime. And I was trying to do so much. The pressure I was putting on myself was so high because I was scared of time. I've got so much to do. Got married my beloved husband too late. We're losing time. We don't have that much time anymore. Oh, my body's aging. I've got all these wear and tears. I'll just show you a little Xenobina. She just went in. She's all wet. She's cool. I might even go for a swim today. I think I might even jump in there myself today. There's Alvin. I'm just going to sit down in the shade, and hopefully the dogs don't jump on me, because that's what they... Well, because I'm sitting here on a hard bankment, it might be better than when I'm on the soft sand. Oh, I just realised I sat on the ground. I've got my yellow... I'll just show you. They're like yellow shorts. Probably not the best thing to sit on the ground with, but whatever. So I'm going to wrap this YouTube up. So basically, the situation is, the secret's being revealed, and me taking the stance of going godly. So in God's blessings, I've actually taken on, I have actually made the choice to stay light. See, other people, when they have an abusive experience, they go dark. They choose the dark path. And the dark path can be very enticing, because that's the one of vengeance, tip tap vengeance. It can be intoxifying going to that sort of hateful, fearful space. That can be a very intoxifying energy to go into. And it can be very sort of motivating, because when you're in a place of hate and nastiness and vindication, like for example, I'll give you an example. I know for a fact that my husband's brother and the donor of my husband's children, the egg donor, I know for a fact that they've been trying to falsify legal documents to get me off the title, the house title, so my name's not on the title. I also know they've been trying to get me killed. They want me to die. They want me to be dead, because if I'm dead, the title's under his and my name, and we tick the box of it's 50% ours, and then it goes 100% to the other upon death. So I know that my husband's brother has read the title, and he knows this, right? So he knows that if Nadina is killed off, that 100% becomes my husband's property. And then I know that my husband's brother will definitely try to get the house sold so that he can somehow get the money, and the egg donor of my husband's beautiful children will also attempting to get the money, because they have squandered their money, because they're very, very poor with their money. And I know my husband's brother, he's been squandering his mother's hard-earned inheritance like you would not believe, on pretending he's rich and buying people like port and cigars, and hires out tuxedos to walk around looking like he's really rich, and he's living in this horrible apartment, like in a horrible location, in horrible view. There's nothing really great or nice about his apartment, but it costs him $1,000 a week, right? But he thinks he just sleeps all the time, watches YouTube, and really fat and unhealthy, smokes all the time, really unhealthy lifestyle. Revolver in his drawer to shoot himself in the head when he's run out of money, right? So he knows that, I'm running out of money soon, because he's been doing this for a couple of years now, right? So he's like, I better work out how I get my next bit of money, and the egg donor is the same, really blowing it with money and using blackmail, using the grandchildren as blackmail. And probably using, suicide if you don't help me out with the children, this is too hard. And, she calls the children CUNT all the time, yells at them and speaks horribly to them. Really demonic, horrible being. That's traumatized, just traumatized. They're all traumatized. See, this is a problem. They've all chosen the dark. They went down that path of, what we need to do everything we can to make sure we're okay. And it doesn't matter if they hurt others. It doesn't matter how much they hurt others, which is all they've ever done. Like, I know, I've told you about how my husband's brother's partner at the time felt they never got married. Like, the big long conversation she had with him when she was trying to tell my husband why she was trying to convince, my husband's brother to attend our wedding. And she was saying to my husband all the things of how horrible her relationship with my husband's brother was. And she was on loudspeaker. I heard everything. And it was a horrendous experience. And I'm just thinking, no love. There's never been any love. See, my husband's brother's never felt love or loved. My husband's sister's never felt loved or loved, doesn't know love. They don't know love, you see. They're traumatized. They're really traumatized. I think my husband, the egg donor of my husband's children, is also, I don't think she's ever felt love or loved. I know she definitely doesn't love her children or her grandchildren, and she definitely doesn't love my husband and never has. It's all out for, or love herself. You see, they don't love themselves. And so these people, they have been really psychically attacking my husband and I, and really using the devil, like doing devil work spells, and they have been really trying to kill us. They've been trying to kill our union, because they can't cope with the idea of a power couple doing God's work. It's the devil at work, you see. That's why I said to this lady at Op Shop yesterday that God's got my back, and God's got my husband's back, and all is healing, you see. This is all happening for healing. And then I was sort of guided to start speaking what some of this devil demonic energy actually looks like. And it does look like behind the scenes someone trying to take me off the title, to make sure I'm homeless, to make sure my husband also doesn't have any assets. See, they don't care whether my husband has assets or not. They just want to make sure he's not happy, or he's doing well, or he's inspired, or they just don't want him in the light. They're just too frightened of him being something they don't know or understand. They need to keep him small and dark and depressed, and God will not allow this to happen, you see. This will not happen. This is not happening. What's in fact happening is my husband is healing his family, because he's stepping into light. He's stepping into his 5D. He's coming back, cleaving to his wife, who is doing the eternal, ever-enduring patience, and little Albany in God's love. But it's not even a matter of whether I'm not waiting for my husband. I'm just living a godly life, and in divine timing it shows himself. I just keep getting very clear guidance from God that my husband is coming home, and he is definitely the one for me. Like, we are definitely meant to be together. And I've had clear direction of what it is, why God wants us together, why God brought us together. I'm getting very clear messages and about what my husband's going through with his family. So I already know a lot of it through what I used to hear and see when he used to talk to me as a friend. I wonder if there's a car coming. So I know when he and I were just friends what was going on. Then when we were on-off lovers, what was going on. And then I just saw how quickly it got turned against us when we got married. And it took me a while to work out. Actually, it's not nothing to do with me per se. I always knew it had nothing to do with me. It's actually about us collectively. Like, originally I thought it was because they just didn't understand me, and they were threatened by me. But now I realise they're threatened by him. They're threatened by my beautiful husband stepping up. They're threatened by my beautiful husband's light. They're threatened by what he and I are together. They're threatened by the love that they see between he and I. They can see it's true love, and it just makes their hearts go so quenched with this feeling that they don't want to face, which is despair that they haven't felt love. And so what I've been praying for is that God, I've been really getting to that place of forgiveness for them, and that's why I said to this lady, I said, don't worry, yeah, I'm getting attacked by them, and I know what they're up to. It's clear as day, it's obvious. People who are narcissists and manipulative and dark and greedy, they're going to go for the base tactics of money and material. The darkest of the darkest of the darkest of what they can do, which is murder and destroy, destruct, all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty obvious what they're attempting to do. But it won't work, you see, because my husband and I are under God's protection. Just like Alvin is, Zena is, hey, don't dig a hole there. Go somewhere else. Look, they're digging a hole right there. Oh, to sit in. Oh, that's funny. Dig a hole to sit in, do you? Oh, to make the sand cooler. So by staying in a place of purity, getting back to that place of purity, I have come to realise I'm not naive. I'm not gullible. No. I'm not naive, and I'm not gullible peoples. By living a life in love and kindness and generosity and forgiveness and humility and humbleness and patience and staying true to what I believe is right in my heart, the right way of being, which is opposite to what the medical world would say, and it's opposite to all the articles out there that say run a mile, put the blood, this, do this and that. Well, in the Bible, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. And I've chosen the godly way. Sorry. It's because my hands get a bit sore, my wrists get a bit sore holding the phone. But I've chosen the godly way, okay? And the godly way was about loving myself, cleaving to God, loving myself, and trusting and surrendering to God. And then through that process, I started doing a lot of deep work on myself, deeper than ever before, but not, look at Zena, not from a place of despair. Not from a place of despair, peoples. Oh, look at that beautiful blue sky. It's coming out in the phone, the camera. Isn't that stunning blue? Isn't that just stunning? Alvin! Hello? Alvin! Handsome one. I'm going to go for a quick swim and then I'll get going home. Then I'm going to do more reno work today. I've been forcing myself to do reno work even though I've had the headaches and vertigo. I haven't been very healthy, haven't been very well in my head. My blood iron low, my iron levels are really low, my thyroid's out and a heap of other things. And it's funny because I just go, I'll do a job if I can. I want to move on, and I've been doing, but I'm doing it from a place of time is my friend. And I have said this to you for years and years and years. I keep going, time is my friend. I'm not so scared of time, but I'm really embodying time is my friend. So even if I do have a day just to rest, like I do the work because I really want to get it done for me, but not because I'm fearful of time running out. Like the right time is now, right? It's like, sorry, that's not what I meant to say. What I meant to say was I'm surrendering to the concept of time, and I'm accepting that all will happen in divine timing. And even if there's certain things I really want to get done, even if they don't happen, it's okay. And it's like with the yard, see the galahs? Did you see them? Cockatoo, sorry. Yeah, I've got more to talk about on that. Oh, that's the paint that I've been using, that dark blue paint. I'm just so at peace with time, and I'm not having fear about time anymore. And it's like, if my house doesn't look amazing within a year, so what? It's okay. I can only do what I can do. And God's really slowed me down with these health issues, and I'm really, appreciative. And God's also slowed me down with my dogs, because my dogs keep me, I can't go to dance parties. I haven't had spare money anyways, but I can't, well, because of my dogs. I haven't been able to go dancing. I haven't been able to go to dance parties. I haven't been able to really do anything, you see. I'm just home all the time, and with my dogs, and we go for these walks, and it's just so peaceful and simple. And it's beautiful to have such a simple life. I am going to go to a piano concert tonight, this afternoon, at the Temperance Bar, and I'm going to dress up really nice. I've decided I'm really going to really dress up, and because it's at one of the high class places in Northern, and it's a piano player. So I thought that's going to be nice. I'll just sit there, listen to this amazing music, and actually dress up and socialise. I'll meet people, I'm sure, and that feels exciting. And tomorrow's church. Oh, so happy about that, church. So life is good, guy. People's 369 drivers, and I know I covered a lot of topics, but the main one is of heart and being an angel of love, and remaining in that place of love. And it doesn't matter what others are doing to me. Like, God's got my back. I'm protected. I'm not succumbing. I'm not going to succumb to fear or hatred or jealousy or worry or I'm just trusting, complete angel of love. Love and truth prevail. Love and truth prevail. That's it. There's my arm. Can you see my arm? Oh, yeah, that's us flying with the wind. Love and truth prevail. I will get a dance, and I really need to dance. I'm hanging out for a dance. Anyways, mwah. Love you all, 369 tribe. Keep well. Love you so much. Bye. See? This time of year, they're so loud. In the afternoon in particular. Okay, loves to love. Bye. I just got to work out how to turn this off again. See ya. Keep well. Oh, please like, share, and subscribe. I want to get up to 1,000 subscribers so I can start doing interactive interviews. 1,000. I want to get to minimum 1,000. We'll get there. Woohoo, yeah. Okay, see ya. Bye. God bless.